All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first group mastermind call of November. So happy to have you all here. And for those of you listening on the replay, hello, hello. We're going to start, as always, with our metaphor check-in. And also, I have a fun question, which is, what is your favorite winter drink? And describe it with some smell slash taste adjectives that show us how much you love it. So that will be our fun question alongside our metaphor check-in about how you are doing, about your writing, a word or a phrase. How's it going with your writing projects? Ideally with a focus on editing, but wherever you're at with your writing projects. So, Ezra, can I put you on the spot?
Yeah,
The
you
man
can
on-
hear me?
Yeah, we can totally hear you. Go for it.
Great. So my metaphor is that I have this uh, giant Play-Doh statue, and it's uh, about a third done, maybe even half done. And I'm putting in a thumb size worth of Play-Doh, adding it on one piece at a time, one piece a day to make my final statue. So slowly but surely. And then my favorite drink is, I'm sure I've said this before, it's hot chocolate with pumpkin spice pump,
Yeah.
yeah, and a little whipped cream.
And what is an adjective or two to describe
Uh,
in an emotionally evocative way the smell and or taste?
to uh, sweets, what's the term? A sweet seasonal taste.
Okay.
Because somehow, the taste of pumpkin
Yeah.
is season.
Thank you. Katie, I don't know if you can see the chat. Katie wrote, usually you can't hear anyone when they're on the Golden Gate Bridge. So true. Ezra's probably in Oakland by now, but you cross the Bay Bridge, right?
Yeah, right. We're getting off the freeway.
You're getting off the freeway now. Yeah. Okay, cool.
But yeah, I did cross the Bay Bridge on the Bay Bridge, right? On
Bay
this.
Bridge.
It's so windy, blustery. You can't hear anything. But it's also fun.
Yeah, if you're actually on the Golden Gate Bridge, especially if you're walking. But Ezra's
Oh
on a
yeah.
so,
And yeah, right. Or the windows down.
yeah, yeah. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As who would like to go next with their metaphor check-in?
I can go next.
Katie, go ahead. I'll put you in the spotlight.
Nice. Okay. So editing wise, it's kind of something that's in the background while I am chasing some butterflies with a little net that's got a lot of holes in it. Um, but they're self-imposed holes because I'm thinking about the editing that I've left behind to chase after the fun thing that has been inspiring me lately. But you got to do it when you see a cute little butterfly, you got to chase after it. So there might be a little taste of it tonight. Who knows?
Fun,
But
fun.
but yeah, so that's how writing is going. My favorite seasonal drink is mulled wine. I think it is, oh, it's so tasty. But it like specifically, it like has this like kind of full-bodied taste that goes beyond like the wine taste. That it's not filling in like the like physical sense, but like the like in like the like home sense. It like has all of those spices that you do in the potpourri or potpourri, there we are. That yeah, it just like reminds me of home cooking when I taste it and when I smell it. So yeah, um, it's a nice little delicacy.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, Nicole, go ahead and unmute and let us know what is your metaphor check-in today, and also your favorite seasonal drink with one or two adjectives.
Okay. I guess my metaphor check-in is um uh oh, I don't really have any.
You don't? Okay. Uh, can you just say if things are moving forward or not moving forward? But
So, sort of moving forward.
okay, sort of. Okay, well, sort of. I'll take sort of. Uh, hopefully today you can do a little bit. We'll do at least one, maybe two free writing exercises so you can work on your story. And then what is your favorite seasonal winter drink and how would you describe it?
um, um, I guess apple cider because we got some K cups, that I can put in the Keurig and
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And
How would you describe the smell or taste of it?
um um it tastes like um like warm apples.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Very, very nice. Yeah. There's something about warm apples. They're so comforting. Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's wonderful. Would you say they're sweet? It's sweet or is it tart?
Um it's a little bit of both, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
good, good. Yeah, we
Yep.
love those adjectives. Excellent. Thank you so much. Um, all right, looks these are probably in transition. Let's do some free writing. So, because today we are talking about how to bring tension and suspense, but also fear in our writing, like make our readers feel afraid for our characters and maybe afraid for what's about to happen. I thought a or fun is a relative term, but uh, an interesting and useful brainstorming exercise today is not going to be working on prose per se. You're not going to write prose, but of course you can if you want to. But my suggestion is to make a list. Some of you have been around a long time. You know one of our favorite exercises we call list of 20. The goal is to try and come up with 20 things, but you don't have to get to 20. And you want to you have a choice. You can either list your fears, because sometimes it's easier to start with your own fears, or your main character's fears. Uh, and I want you to start from the mundane, meaning like maybe like my character Henrietta, she's afraid of water. And to her, that's like a mundane thing because mundane meaning like every day she'll see the creek and she'll feel, ugh, got to stay away from the creek. So to me, that's mundane. Starting from the mundane to the, what did I call it? Um, Profound, I guess. Something that is really, um, truly the biggest fear they have. So, but start small and then work your way up. I'd like you to write quickly, meaning no censoring, and there's no right or wrong answer, right? And I see a cattail over there, Katie. That's so fun. The cats come visiting. So list of 20. List your fears or your main character's fears, starting from the mundane to the profound, which meaning like the biggest fear ever. And I want you to write quickly without any censoring. And I know, Ezra, you're en route, so maybe dictate it. Just do the best you can. Because we have a small group today, let's do 6 minutes. And you don't have to get to 20. But I just want you to I want you to bullet point your list. And then because this is free writing, anything and everything is permissible. You can go off this prompt if something else comes up for you, whatever is alive for you. So I'm open up your writing program and any questions before we get started? No? Okay. I don't know, Ezra, if you can hear me, if you're in a position to write. And I think he's gonna be walking in the door any minute now. So, all right, let's play, and I will see you all in 6 minutes. Ciao, ciao. All right. Echo, 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 echo. Ezra is here. Go ahead if you want to share. I think it's kind of fun to see what people share. You're welcome to share. Wow, I got up to 17. So let's check in first with Nicole. How was that for you? Did you do some writing?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Did you focus in on fears?
Well, I couldn't really. Well, I got one where Raven is afraid of metal chains.
Metal chains. Good. Good, good, good. And why is he afraid of them?
I guess because they mean that somebody's getting arrested or something.
Okay, good. Yeah. It's good to have a why attached to our fears. Yeah, good. Great. Ezra, you want to read what people posted? Starting with your stuff?
Sure. I don't see anything, so
Yeah, read on my screen. Let me
Read
make
your
it
mind.
bigger. Because
um
maybe because you just started up your Zoom.
yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
why. Fear of losing her pride and dignity, fear of what other people think about her, fear of hurting others.
Great. Good. And yeah,
There's
Katie's.
Kitty. Mispronouncing words, crickets, getting lost in the woods, getting fired from a job, misunderstanding, friends secretly not liking me, spiders, heights, creeps, my cats getting out of my apartment, nice, drunk drivers, drowning, critical illness, not finishing what I need to accomplish before I die. Ooh, that's a good one. Death of a loved one, demons and entities.
Wow, you got dark. That's a good. That's
Yeah.
really good how you went from mundane to really intense.
That's
Yeah,
great.
very wonderful.
Unfortunately, Crickets was the first one I wrote, and then the second one I wrote was Demon and Entities, so a little autobiographical here.
It is, right? We learn a lot about ourselves when we list this. Yeah. What's creeps?
Creepy men, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like walking home, you're like, somebody's behind me on the sidewalk. Are they just going home or are they being a creep?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was out of context.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Was it helpful to make a list?
Uh, because I wrote them all out and then I went, wait, this is like more like this belongs further down on the list than the others. So, being able to kind of write it down and then orient it around like actually like what goes to like a deeper level.
Mhm.
Like what's like a small thing, like mispronouncing words. I once said Yosemite instead of Yosemite because I had never heard the word before.
Mhm.
And I said it in front of a very large group of people and was so embarrassed. And it's a deep fear of mine because I've read a lot of words that I've never heard.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. But like that's everybody mispronounces things. So yeah. But then, you go down further and it's like, okay, that like comes from something deeper.
Yeah, that's great. Have you run this kind of exercise on your characters before?
Maybe at a high level, like a 1, 2, 3, but not like I haven't gone like, oh yes, she's going to be afraid of crickets.
Mhm.
And here's why. So it might be nice to give some mundane fears instead of just like those grand ones.
Yeah, that's good. And I forgot to say out loud, but a good question to ask after you write each fear is what is worse than that? And the goal is to freak yourself out. I mean, when you're writing on characters, when you're writing on yourself, you're going to freak yourself out. No question. Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing. All right. And then last but not least, do you want to read mine, Ez?
Yeah.
So for Janie Book 5, she'll get lost on the station. These are her fears.
Yeah.
Her fear that she'll get lost on the station, that she won't be able to connect with Orlando, that she won't get a ride home, that she won't be able to help, that she won't find her grandmother or find out what happened to her. She'll be useless. She'll disappear into oblivion. She'll be forgotten, though she'd begun so. She'd lose Orlando. She'd lose her friends. She'd lose her extended family. She'd put her team in harm's way. She'd get one of her team killed. She wouldn't be able to catch the killer. She wouldn't be discredited. She would be discredited in the industry. She'd have to do meaningless work. She'd despair with no meaning in her life.
So that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
If we don't have meaning, we die. Humans
Yeah.
need meaning. Yeah. So I don't remember. I must have done this exercise when I was first brainstorming the first book in the series, but it's been a long time. So it was really good to do this and notice what's mundane and what's deep, a deep existential fear. Great. Well, thanks for playing. I really recommend this exercise for your main characters and try and go to 20 if you can. Like in 6 minutes, I got to 17, Katie got to 16. Like I'm sure you would get a lot more if you weren't like getting off the bus and walking up the stairs to come into the apartment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've done this before, but I highly recommend it, especially if you're trying to get to know your character better, or it's been a long time since you've done any kind of deep dive like this. I highly recommend it. And I'm saying that for those of you who are listening on the replay, I highly, highly recommend it. I know some of you are like revisiting your characters or diving deep into getting to know your characters, and just get as deep as you can into them. And go to 20 if you can. I'll probably go back and finish this little list. All right. And then at another time, maybe if anyone has questions, we can talk about how to use these fears in the story. But actually, today's lesson that Ezra's going to teach is going to really help. So shall we transition into that? And then I thought we'll spend like 30 minutes on the lesson. And there is some exercises at the end, and we'll see how everyone is at and pick one maybe. And then I thought we could just do like a little round robin with each of your like burning questions for everyone who's here, since we're not, and that includes, whatever you're working on. All right, so I'm going to share my screen to the handout that everyone will get when we're done. There it is. All right, so today we're going to talk about crafting fear that feels real to your reader. Here's a lovely table of contents. Our fun, I thought I would make a fun, you didn't see this imagery I made. No. I picked this graphic for our image, which is a little girl who's a vampire holding a glass of what could be blood or wine, we don't know, and a little person, a stick figure person, excitedly showing his pumpkin or her pumpkin basket to get candy.
Right.
Literally. So it's like Halloween vibes, but for kids. All right. So here's my little intro, and I'm going to hand it over to you. Okay.
Great.
And
Love it.
Be the pilot. So our goal here is, how do you, in your fiction, craft fear for your readers that feels real and provides the chills and the thrills for them? And I love this introduction. A genuinely scary scene doesn't come from shock alone. It comes from empathy. When we as writers connect the reader to a character's fear, they'll feel it too. We want them to feel it. The goal isn't to gross out or overwhelm them, but to evoke dread that lingers after the page is turned. And we don't have it here on the page, but I think the overall goal of that is to make our stories memorable. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's the ultimate reason, and make our, Our stories memorable. And also in the reading process, unput downable. Why? Oh, I wanted you to say why you're excited to teach this topic.
Oh, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was fascinated with trying to figure out how to scare um, people with my writing. And I think it was because, like, growing up, I was mostly scared by loud sounds. And so, like, when my father got upset about never about us, but just something that happened at work, he'd yell, and that scared me. Um, and then when I was taking the bus to and from school, there were people on the bus who were having a good time, but it was very loud, and that kind of scared me. And it was like, if only I could be scary. And so I wanted to be like Dracula or someone who looked scary, and maybe I could learn how to write scary stories to scare people, so that I wouldn't feel intimidated. Um, and and
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's your personal why. I love it. So go for it.
So scary scenes. Scenes are where the reader is afraid for the character. A scary scene can be a scene where the characters are afraid and the reader has empathy for that character. A scary scene could be where the reader reads from the perspective, the point of view of the villain and is scared by their sociopathic or evil intentions. Um, that could be super freaky.
Yeah, we're going to get to examples.
Great.
Yeah.
Um, Here's another thing. So, scary scene can be when the method of writing secrets has life or death stakes. For example, here are a few. So, when a protagonist keeps a secret from the villain, um, like say the villain has said, I'm gonna kill the person who was in my house last night or something. And the protagonist secretly knows that, well, she was the one who was in the house looking for something. Um, and then another situation where the villain is keeping a secret from the protagonist. Um, Maybe we see the protagonist sitting next to a stranger, and we know that the stranger is a villain, but the villain is pretending to befriend the protagonist, and they're having a delightful conversation. And we know the villain is just like a cat playing with its mouse, you know. Um, and another situation where the villain is keeping a secret from the reader. So we might see the villain um like putting together weird bullets or sharpening an axe, and we don't know exactly what it's for. Maybe we hear whimpers in the background. We don't exactly know, but the villain isn't purposely keeping a secret from us, but there is something that we don't know yet as a reader.
As a reader, yeah. Yeah, so what else is scary? What other kinds of scenes create a scary effect? Katie, do you have anything?
Yeah, so in playing D&D, you have to create a villain that feels like he has actual or they have actual consequences. I'm thinking of a current villain where I'm trying to beat, and something that our like DM, our game master, has done really well is create somebody who is so charismatic that all of the other, like his secret is like unknown to everybody but the characters that we're playing, like the party of adventurers and heroes. Everybody else adores him. And it almost feels like the characters know, the reader knows, nobody else knows. And if like somebody pops off, like if if I were to like be like, all right, I'm gonna blast this guy with magic, there's like so many consequences that would come from that because he's so charismatic to everybody else. And that like that is so high stake and so scary as like you want to be seen as the hero, but you would look like the villain in that moment. So that it's been very frustrating for me over the last couple of months. So
That's intense, really cool. Very interesting. Nicole, how about you? How do you define a scary scene, or what's an example of a scary scene for you?
Um, uh, I watched the scene in Misery where she had him, not tied up, but he, um,
He hobbles.
wrote, huh?
He hobbles him.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
I had to turn away. I couldn't see that.
Okay, yeah. So what about that scene is so scary? I've not seen the film and I would never see it, so.
I would say it would harken a little bit back to um the almost sociopathic nature where she doesn't really care about his well-being.
Right. She was just like, "You're gonna do this book, and you're doing it for me," and
Right, right. You try to escape, but you need to do the right thing and write a proper horror story, you know.
right. And how dare you kill off one of my favorite characters?
Yeah. Yeah. So so yeah, she didn't care about him at all. She cared about um you know, herself and doing it properly. You know. Anyway, and so that led to her being violent to him. Yeah.
Okay. I was just
Yeah.
thinking, great. Well, thank you. All right, guys.
Yep.
The why.
All right. So why have scary scenes in your stories? Mostly because it'll feel like you take people out to lunch and no. Um, and it's important, even if you're not overtly writing scary stories, if you're even in romance, there could be like scary moments. Um, so scary scenes, the reason they might be good in your stories is that they're usually life and death situations. So you have high stakes going on, and that can make for good reading. Um, and in scary scenes, you have tension and suspense, and that's parts of every story. And if you use them well, then you can really get a good reader's response.
Again, so it's about really hooking the reader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other reasons? Why this is doing this. Any other reasons why to include scary scenes in your story? Katie, do you have a good reason?
I mean, sometimes like there's the stakes piece, but then it's like the almost like sometimes it's hard to connect with a character until you see them when they are at their lowest. And like that gives an opportunity to put somebody at what could be their lowest. Some people react great in like hard times, but most people, when they're facing their greatest fears, are not their best selves.
Yeah, and this reminds me of the most powerful thing we can do is generate pity for a character when the stakes are high. So it has to be for a good. And this is we talk about this in the emotional core exercise in our Plan Your Novel book by not Julio. something Iglesias. What's his first name? I forget his name. Anyway, we adapted something he shared. Yeah, that's a really great point. Like when we have our character at their lowest. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you. Nicole, how about you? What's a good reason? Why do you think it's good to include scary stories, scary scenes in our stories?
Well, I guess to bring out the worst in people. It's like, you would think that, you would think that if an author was to meet a fan, that would be a great thing. Well, what if the author is a crazy person and,
Yeah, and why is that so attractive?
um, I guess because it's kind of like, that's something that I could see happening, and I guess that's because I watch a lot of like investigation discovery, so I watch a lot of stuff about like people getting stalked and stuff like that, and and then then there's a lot of movies and stuff that I watch about like stalkers, or there's this one movie I'm watching now about this lady who rents this room, but turns out the landlord is got a camera in this teddy bear on the bed, and she's watching all this stuff, the different things that are going on, and
Yeah.
I think she had. So anyway, yeah, kind of brings out the worst in people.
It's kind of what?
It kind of brings out the worst in people, and it makes you think about things. Like I saw an interview that Stephen King did, and he said that when he wrote The Stand, he had no idea that, that was COVID was gonna hit, and it's like, okay, that was too close to home.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder if that relates to, like, I know people, and maybe including myself, going to see horror films for the purpose of seeing if they can kind of survive it, so to speak. And like Katie was saying, um, the ability they want to experience it without being in it. So it's low
Right.
for the reader, but high for the character. And
yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why, like, I watch, like I said, a lot of thrillers, and I read, Goosebumps. I know that's for kids, but it's still scary. I mean, some of the stuff that these kids go through is like, gee.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we like Goosebumps. Yeah. All right, let's get into the how. Ez, you're gonna give us 5 core principles.
Write words and string them together. No,
and you're done.
Of course. Anchor fear in character emotions.
Hey, wait, before
a
little tiny intro. You're going to give us 5 core principles, and we're going to do some brainstorming together.
Sweet.
Right? And these are 5 things to keep in mind on how to write effective scenes that evoke fear.
Love it.
And the other emotions related. Okay.
Great. So number 1 of the 5 core principles, anchor fear in character emotion. So as developmental editor Siobhan O'Brien Holmes notes, drawing from Rain Hall's writing Scary Scenes, readers absorb the emotions of your viewpoint character. So if your character's terror feels authentic, so will the readers. Try asking, what does that fear feel like in the body? It's better to show those internal cues rather than displaying guts or gore.
Yeah, so we're going to brainstorm together some of the ways of describing that internal those internal fears. Do you want to give us an example, Ez? We'll each give an example.
Um, so here it says internal cues. Like internal fears, I can understand, like needles, spiders, clowns, that sort of thing. Internal cues might be shortness of breath, dry mouth. You mentioned later, like tunnel vision, um, heart pounding,
Great.
pupils dilating.
You can't, that's external.
Oh, right.
Other people, what are some physical body cues and sensations for feeling fear, for when you feel fear? And that's why I had you do this exercise earlier. And thank you, Katie. You did it for yourself. I did it for my character. You want to, how does it feel in the body when you are afraid? So, Katie, do you have a few descriptive sentences for us?
I was thinking about, well, so I was thinking about the instinctive survival mechanisms. It's the four Fs: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And those all have different ones. And
Mhm.
it's really interesting to see, like, I always want to guess before our characters put in like a hard situation or a scary situation, like, what are they going, like, who are they going to be? Are they going to fight it? Are they going to run from it? Is it going to freeze them up? Or are they going to like react positively and try to like get their way out of it through charm? Uh,
Oh,
yeah, it's
Which one? This one?
yeah.
Thank you. I knew I missed one.
Yeah.
So give us an example of
so yeah, I mean, like, you have for fight, it's like you get angry or anxious or agitated, but you like your you can literally like I've learned that I am a fighter in fear. I thought I was a flight. I am not. You can hear your blood like or your like heartbeat in your ear and like all of like your adrenaline levels increase and like
well, how does that feel? Because that's
yeah.
right, like
It,
adrenaline in the body, like
yeah, it feels hot. It's like fl like you can feel like the hot in your cheeks and like clench in your jaw.
good.
Isn't it in fists and feet?
Hmm.
So that you
Mhm.
want.
They recently added freeze and fawn to the responses where like fists and feet were like the two that everybody like knew, but then freeze is like where it's just like unresponsive. So it's really not a bodily response. It is, but it's like you're not responding.
Mhm.
And then fawning is like more just like submission.
Mhm. What we
Oh,
want to know, so with fawn, what is the physicalness of that?
Mm.
Um, and I'm a fight. I have a
Yeah.
response to fear as well. It's taken me a long time I'm like, I'm not sad, I'm just angry. Like I am angry.
yeah. Is fawn like stiff or is it
No,
noodle surrender?
no, it's like seduction. It's like gravity.
Helpless, dependent, overly agreeable. So it's
But what,
bodily,
yeah,
yeah.
what's the bodily response to that?
It's almost like a lean in.
Yeah, like how does that feel inside to it?
Mm.
Uh, I've seen it
Yeah.
played, but I don't know what it feels like. So
What's interesting, I don't know if you're recognizing it in the moment. Maybe that's like a secondary, like, oh, hmm, I,
it's
how do you,
I mean,
yeah.
I can make a guess. There was this guy I met locally down on the street who the first time I met him, he provoked an argument. He wanted to have an argument. And so I argued with him and it was really not fun. And then I
Mhm.
saw him again and he did not remember me. And I purposely, but this was very conscious on my part, I just acted agreeable. And I just acted sympathetic. But from an internal perspective, I was feeling actually neutral. So I was manipulating him actually because
Mhm.
I could see, oh, this guy likes to provoke a fight. I'm not going to play his game. So
Hmm.
it wasn't exactly fawn, but it was like respectful. I knew that the way to not provoke him would be as if I were sitting side by side with him and just be friendly. So I don't know if it's fawn exactly, because I didn't fawn over him, but I was definitely like, I de-escalated him right from the get-go. So it's a little different.
Yeah.
I do know what freeze feels like because I've been in that position many times. It's like literally it's like everything locks up.
Mhm. And
Like muscles
goes numb.
kinda, yeah, numb, muscles lock.
And it's almost like you're not like that was the one where I was like, you're not physically there for that.
Yeah,
It's just like you're just like pff, gone.
it's a disassociative experience. So
Well,
yeah,
okay.
you're kind of floating. So if I had to put some more emotional like floating or I mean, I had the experience of going mute. Like at one time we were at a writers group in Paris and someone just kind of attacked me verbally. And
Yeah.
I literally didn't know what to say, but I actually flushed. I remember feeling flushed and you just stepped in and said something.
Yep.
Um that yeah. So we did fight, fawn, and then freeze, and then well, we didn't do flee or flight. I
Yeah.
changed it to flight or flee. Um, I mean, there, what does it feel like? It feels, uh,
There's a lot of pressure. Like it's like literally something is pushing you.
mhm,
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, like it's almost as if like the inciting incident is just like
mhm.
and
Uh,
that was very descriptive, but I love an onomatopoeia.
I know it too, but we don't know what it feels like. I remember this guy stood up to speak at an event, and as soon as he started talking, whatever he was saying, it made me like everything like fluttered, like my whole body like vibrated, and I wanted to like run from the room.
Mm.
So bizarre. It was a really, and he was just talking. He wasn't threatening anyone, but what he was saying felt incredibly threatening. And
Mm.
it was threatening to my sense of self. It wasn't like he was being mean or anything. It was
I'm in
never,
that category.
yeah, what does it feel like? Give us some senses.
And it's actually a lot what Katie said. It's this a feeling of feeling pushed away from
Mm-hmm.
the situation. Um, and then mostly in an anger. So
But that's the fight, right? You feel
no,
angry,
no, I
but
feel angry
so where in the body? Like where in,
for being humiliated.
yeah, okay. But
So
where's the physicalness? Like, is it hot? Is it cold? Is it like vibrating? Is
so that
it?
it's um I mean feeling the need to move and get my give my muscles a workout. I don't know how to express that, but it's just they need to move. I need to tire myself out.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Isn't it when like so when you're at rest, your like body's doing all of its like normal fun. I can't remember which system in your body, like it's like your digestive system like runs regularly, but when you are active and with running, like all of your like normal systems kind of shut off and all of your energy goes elsewhere. And
Yeah.
it's almost like when I think about like when I want to run away, like I feel so cold. Like I don't feel like the flush. I feel like it's just like a draining of everything and it like drops to the bottom of my body and it's like it's putting all of the energy into my feet.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Okay.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
I think fawn,
Huh?
when I think about the times that I have just gone, okay, I'll be agreeable to get out of this situation, I have always felt sick to my stomach because
Mm-hmm.
I know that I don't agree with what's going on, but I know the only way to get out of the situation is to just agree. And so I'm sick to my stomach. I like you feel the lump in your throat, like almost like a block on your voice.
Mm-hmm. You got a lot to say about that, don't you? Right? Yeah. cats are both prey and predator. So I watch him when he's afraid, he just does this intense jolt, flee kind of thing.
Yeah.
Animals, so it's almost like it's such a fast reaction. Yeah, so this is really good, going through all of this and feeling all the different senses and in the body. And I'd be curious for you to do some more specifics about your flight flee response, like if after the fact you could handle.
Sure,
Is
yeah.
it, these are good. Good. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I just left a blank space for us. Oh, and then you had some examples that we already kind of covered: heart pounding, shallow breath, tunnel vision. And I love this piece of advice.
Oh, use deep point of view and keep focus close and immediate.
You don't want to use would and he would do this and he would do that. No, like, get us right in there with some really strong verbs in the past tense. So we have an example that you're going to read to us.
Yeah, so I just wrote this last night.
You wrote it?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh, really?
I didn't know if it was from something.
No. And actually, it's a mix of a bunch of things we're also going to talk about. So,
Oh, cool.
so
We'll
this is,
refer to it.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We can refer back to it.
So I just made it double spaced, but I didn't read it. I didn't edit it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They
Did you
all
want
die.
me?
They all die in the end.
Okay.
This axe, she had seen him use it to cut off the heads of his victims. Now that she had it, she'd be safe in this basement. Not only was he unarmed, she could threaten him with a weapon if she needed to. There was a squeak of the door opening. He was coming down the steps. She froze. His shoes clumped on the wooden slats of the stairs into the basement. Quick! She hid behind the metal shelves of chemicals and acids. He had in his hand a durian fruit. It looked like a jackfruit with spikes and as hard as a coconut. She gripped the axe in her hands, testing its heft. She shifted from one foot to the other. He was looking for his axe. She puffed her shallow breath as quietly as she could. That's right, you bastard. I have your axe. You can't do anything to me. He stopped searching and with his bare hands squeezed the solid fruit. He wasn't going to try to. Those spikes look sharp. He screamed and ripped the durian in half. She jolted, lost her grip, and the axe clattered to the ground. He peered in her direction. Her heart pounded. He set the cracked fruit on his workbench and approached her, blood and custard on his palms.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know exactly how clear it is in terms of what's going on.
It's pretty clear. So we have she froze.
Yeah,
We have her hiding, but now she's moving. We have her gripping. We have her her thinking,
shallow breath.
shallow breath. Her fear jolted and lost her grip. I like it. You've got her heart pounded. You've got some axe clattered. You got some sound in there. Yeah, you've got a threatening moment. Okay. And so a lot of the internal body sensory details, and obviously we're in deep point of view too. All right, shall we move on?
Yeah.
We'll be mentioning this. All right. Uh,
So number two of the five core somethings.
Elements.
Five core elements is build atmosphere before the scare. Horror emerges gradually. So let the setting provoke tension. You can use sound, you can use smell or taste, you can use sight, you can use touch. What does the senses from the setting?
Oh, what?
What senses from the setting evoke tension?
So yeah, let's do some brainstorming. A few. I noticed the time. So we don't have a writer today, but I wanted to make sure we answered some questions. I know, Katie, you mentioned you have a story, a different story that you're working on, and I thought we would answer any questions or that you have, that Nicole has. Yeah, but so maybe just a few things here. Like, do you want to start us off?
Let's see. Musty and old smell. Musty smell.
Okay.
Um,
Katie, do you have something that evokes tension in from a setting, from a POV character?
Temperature change.
ooh, nice.
Yeah, so how would a character describe temperature change?
Seeing their breath, maybe.
I heard that certain someone's watching Supernatural and consistently if they're hunting a ghost, you'll see like and sometimes they don't recognize it, but you always see like a little like the breath come out where it's like their hot breath like forms the mist in the air. And before they say like there's a ghost or like there's some sort of like recognition, the audience knows and it's like a beat before they go ghost. It's so good.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
it's from The Exorcist. From
yeah, that's
that.
great. And that's even I love that because it comes from the character themselves. Something that I notice is the birds, since I write like for my Henrietta character, the birds went quiet.
Mm.
Like when the birds go quiet in nature, there's something wrong. Um,
The sound of
yeah.
a blade being sharpened.
Uh-huh. Nicole, how about you? Any sensory details your point of view character notices in the setting that can make everything feel a bit tense?
Um, um, not really. I can't come up with anything.
Um, Yeah, I mean, something that you've been working on is your crowd scene where your main character he's going to get arrested and he's speaking, right? And there's a bunch of people. So I wonder,
Right?
I mean, that could be kind of claustrophobic if like people crowded too close to him. Like we don't have to say that he's claustrophobic. We could just say that,
Right.
right? And then we're like, oh, there's too many people around or something like that. We got a few coming in from Katie. Um, you want to read, please?
Yeah, let's see. Floorboards squeaking upstairs in an empty house.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Something moved in the room when you blinked.
Like the angels story,
The weeping angels.
Weeping Angels and Doctor
Don't
Who.
blink. If you blink, you're dead.
Great. Let's move on. This is really important. I think every writer can benefit from adding in some sensory details that are it's like a foreshadow, that hint that something bad is about to happen, right? That's what we're doing here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a really great craft thingamabobber. My mouse is being weird. Okay. Let's move on to
Great.
here's some examples that you gave.
Silence, something off kilter. Slow pacing increases unease, and quick cuts release it.
So
Alternate these rhythms to create emotional payoff.
And then you're during an example, you had let's see, squeak of the door opening. There we go. You had that. His shoes clomped on the wooden slates. I like that a lot. Um,
Yeah, and kind of this altern well, there's like a long sentence and a short
okay,
sentence.
so long sentences and short sentences. Awesome. It's one of my favorite. Okay, and then there's a few examples from film and TV.
I can't even pronounce the names, but Fede Alvarez's Alien Romulus, a movie from 2024, does this with eerie hums and confined corridors before any creature appears. Similarly, in Stranger Things, it uses 1980s nostalgia to make the supernatural invasion of the Upside Down even eerier when ordinary childhood spaces turn sinister.
That doesn't really describe what they're doing, but I have only watched a tiny bit, but you could do that with shadow. You could do that with making the ordinary childhood props look gray and old and disused
Yes,
and discarded,
covered with roots, oozing with slime.
right? Dusty, neglected. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to number 3.
Number 3, Rain Hall distinguishes degrees of fear. Um,
Sorry.
Unease, foreboding, dread, terror, and horror. And yeah, I put my examples for this section.
Okay.
Um, Unease is the moment before you fully understand the danger. I really like this whole thing. So unease is the moment before you fully understand the danger. And the example that I had was where, like, if you look at the opening, she's holding an axe in a basement. So there's the unease. It's like, as a reader, whoa, I don't fully understand the danger yet.
But it's a dangerous
But
situation.
there's a dangerous
Yeah.
situation. And then the dread is the next part that builds once your character knows something bad is coming. So that's when you hear the sounds of the footsteps going down the stairs.
Mhm.
Oh crap, it's coming.
Mhm.
Terror is the moment, is when the protagonist feels helpless, immediate fear. Here it
Mhm.
says, think of Ripley realizing the alien is in the same escape pod as she is. In my little short scene, it's the moment when he rips apart the fruit and
Mhm.
in his bare hands. And he had used an axe to behead people, and here he is using his bare hands. So it's
Mhm.
not like she has un disarmed him. He's fully capable of taking her down.
Mhm.
And so that's where the terror comes in. And the horror is the actual gruesome moment.
But here it says the aftermath,
And
a realization.
yeah, and the way I mean the way I see it is um I don't quite understand because those are two different things, the sickening aftermath. Like, I mean, walking away from a bloody scene would be horrific, but like where is the moment when
Well, I think the aftermath is this realization she has. He rips this hard fruit in half, and she is shocked. She drops the axe. She's so
yeah,
shocked, and that's the horror. The horror is, without stating it directly, the horror is this person doesn't need an axe to, like you just said. So
right.
to me, that's horrific because it's
To me it was the
horrible.
terror moment because
Okay.
but anyway, the
Well,
something to add here is that these four things. Um, I've never seen it before, those four categories, and
oh,
I don't know that anyone uses them. But it is kind of a nice way to organize the mind in terms of the steps of a scene. Um,
especially because it's the build. It's the build and then release, so to speak.
right,
This is almost like the 5 stages of a scene or the 5 essential elements of a scene, except for scary stuff.
right. But
Uh,
there needs to be a moment to cover when the actual disturbing or the violence happens or something. And so I guess I wouldn't put it under terror. I would
you'd put it
put it
under
under
horror.
horror.
Okay, so you
That's why I
combine
put it
that.
there.
All
And
right.
then in the scene I gave as an example, I didn't even go there. I just stopped before the horrific, before the the blood
Mm.
actually came up. And of course she wins.
She better win.
She's yeah.
Uh, Katie says horror is reality without immediacy.
Because like when we think about like a tragic event happening, like I like terrorize to terrorize. Like so if you think about I'm like thinking about when, like you're at a concert and something terrible happens. Like I think it was Ariana Grande in the UK where somebody like planted a bomb in the stadium that she was performing in and like everybody was and terror. And everybody on the outside was like, oh, what a horror. So that's kind of how I put the difference between the two, where it's like the experience is like the immediate, like it's the experience versus like the like distance. Like you can see the horror in something, but you can't experience the terror directly.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's definitely one way to look at it.
I mean, that would certainly explain the word aftermath.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on because I think
Yeah, let's see. Number 4, use setting as a character. So you can
like.
choose backdrops that amplify emotion.
Hmm.
Here's a classic, boiler rooms,
Hmm. Hmm.
attics, basements,
Hmm.
caves,
Hmm.
um,
Dark alley.
Dark Alley,
Uh, uh,
toy stores.
toy stores. What? Um, let's get a few from Nicole. What are some settings that are scary to you, Nicole?
Um, um, I guess there aren't really any. I mean, um, I guess there aren't really any settings that are like scary. Yes.
Yeah, no scary settings for you. I would say closets. Um, uh,
Closet?
yeah, I don't know, closets for some people are scary. Um, empty. I mean, I write science fiction, so empty spaceship. All right, a ship is floating in space and everyone's not, no one's there. Ghost ship. Yeah. Um,
Katie qualified toy stores at night.
at night.
Um,
Yeah.
you put
I
it up
added that,
already.
yeah.
Oh, okay, no.
Cool.
Because that is an upcoming film. Freddy's
Okay.
whatever. I don't know.
Um, well, there's also the graveyard. Graveyards
Oh yeah, of course.
mostly.
Okay.
Gravy yard.
Gravy yards. Did you say something, Nicole?
I said okay. I'm just listening. I don't see how a graveyard could be scary, but I guess because I can't see what a grave. I mean, I know what a graveyard is, but it's a cemetery with dead people and stuff. That doesn't seem
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. So for you, you may not have a setting that is typically scary. I mean, these are like tropes that people use
Right.
Exactly.
to set up.
And for like believers of life after death and demons and the like, um, entering a place where there's a bunch of dead people can bring up fears of, uh, are they lurking around? Maybe they have not gone to heaven or hell, and maybe they're hanging around, waiting um, to what's the word? Embody, possess um, people who visit.
Yeah. I listed also old warehouses, dilapidated housing. Um, great. So let's move on. Oh, I see a comment here. Hallowed ground, though. Oh, Hocus Pocus taught us that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we could also use, Ezra's got some examples. Dark forests, derelict space stations, uncanny domestic spaces can each mirror your character's emotional journey. And that makes me think of broken mirrors.
Those weren't my examples,
Oh, okay.
but I'll
More
take
examples.
credit for it. Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Here's another example of the House of Haunting Hill or the Haunting of House Hill.
Yeah, Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, there you go.
Those are all different movies, by the way.
Okay.
Sound and Touch, Ghostly Whispers, Cold Clammy Hands, Heightened Immersion. Um, um, Yeah.
I think in the interest of time, let's maybe
let's
just
move forward.
do the last one.
Yes, I agree. I divide and concur. Um, Number 5, the last of the core. Resist the cheap shocks, jump scares, and gore. Lose impact if overused. I'm not really sure how to write a jump scare.
Well, this is film. It's
I
like
know it is,
a
yeah, it's
film
exactly
terminology.
film. But it would be funny if, like, in the middle, and he approached the door and bah in big all caps.
Yeah, that's like comic writing.
Yeah.
I have a friend who does that in his writing. So we want to layer anticipation.
And as in Hitchcock's The Birds, suspense comes from knowing danger looms behind the character, but being forced to wait. Yeah, surprise should feel inevitable in retrospect.
Yeah. I think we've got it. I'm done
Yeah.
with being scared. But here's your example.
Oh, I see. Yeah. There was
I put it at the end. So you want to go?
I see. I think I went over it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we have a few more examples. Well, you talked about Alien Romulus. You want to read these contemporary examples?
Yes. Let's see. So Alien Romulus has a sci-fi horror claustrophobic tension and sound designed to amplify dread. The violence is implied before shown. In Stranger Things, fantasy, horror, sci-fi, ordinary friendship, and nostalgic familiarity heightens the emotional stakes against surreal danger. What we expect out of comfort switches.
I see.
A Mask of Flies. I don't know this one by Matthew Lyons in 2024. Oh, I see. I kind of stopped watching horror films in 2024.
Okay.
Horror with cosmic sci-fi slow burn dread shifts into metaphysical horror. Fear arises from the unknown VHS and existential threat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
So here's some exercises, but we're not going to do any writing today. You want to read them out?
So, if you're game to after the call, pick a scene in your current sci-fi or fantasy work. Does it have to be sci-fi or fantasy?
No, but that's just who our writers are mostly.
Oh, yeah, okay. Where tension flattens. So rewrite it using deep point of view from your main character's sensory experience. Strip out overt description of the monster and reveal danger through sound, shadows, changes in rhythm.
I like that. I'm actually going to have to do that in my little film too, because we lost some footage. So we're going to use sound and I don't know what else to evoke the monster. Oh,
and number 3, end the scene just before the worst happens. Oh, that's what I did.
that's what you
See,
did.
this is all embedded in my writing.
It's in your psyche.
I've done all this horror writing, so
Yeah.
I know to end the story just before the blood and guts.
Yeah.
End the scene just before the worst happens. Leave readers' imaginations trembling in the dark.
Yeah. And here's our little wrap up.
Here's a wrap up. Fear is most powerful when it points to what your characters and readers most long to protect. Whether you're writing about alien corridors, fey forests, or haunted ships, the heart of the scare always beats in the human or human-like response. I do want to add that in one of my stories, the biggest fear for the villain is open places. He prefers to be in closed spaces. And it gets to a point where our hero manages to take him to the island where the Lord of the Flies is. And so now he's in a super open space surrounded by kids that are,
Horrible.
horrible. And Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense.
So leading up to the worst fear for the protagonist was my method of, yeah, knowing the worst fear and then knowing that's how she's going to conquer him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, let's stop here. There's a lot of resources on this page. Something was going on with my mouse here. Yeah, tons of resources we pulled from. I used Perplexity to build this lesson, and then Ezra edited it. So thank you so much. I hope that it was useful. I think the main takeaway for me. So let's do takeaways, and then I want to take questions just because it's top of mind to do takeaways. It's like it reinforces what I already know, which is if you show the reader, I mean, if you show the character being afraid and you use the sensory language, then you're bringing the reader with you and you can really evoke this emotion with intent. Yeah. Katie, what's your takeaway? Thanks. Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of my fears get grounded in my characters, so I need to expand beyond.
What do you mean?
Like find new fears. I mean, it is very cool to be like, oh, I'm exploring this fear through this character, but also um that would probably make pretty repeatable characters. So finding maybe not new fears for myself, but like exploring fears that other people have.
Oh, cool. Very interesting. Yeah. How about for you, Nicole, a takeaway for you from today?
Um, I guess um, I guess to explore, like, I guess I would need to like explore, like if I have Mayvon afraid of metal chains, how did that how does he know that metal chains means that okay, somebody is getting arrested, or something like that.
It could come from his past.
Yeah.
Characters know things when we meet them on page one. So he could know this and already have this association, and that could make him afraid, right? Because he is afraid something might happen to him. So that's a really
Yep.
way, especially that has such a strong sound component, sensory component. It'd be great for you to put that into his experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Good. How about you, Ezra? Any takeaways or not?
Yeah. I feel like first, in general, suspense is great if you just draw out and save the actual violent moment or whatever for 10 pages, 20 pages down. So to add in a lot of sensory details, um, description of the setting,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
maybe more thoughts of the POP.
Mm-hmm. And you showed us in this little excerpt that you wrote us that you've got that going on. So that's great. I know we're wrapping up really soon, and I didn't know, Katie, if you had any questions when you made an email mention of what you were bringing to today. I didn't know if you had any burning questions about what you're working on. Um,
It's really fun because I'm building it from a role play game that I'm playing with my friends, and I'm basically just building it out from what we already have. And I think it's just like what we talked about. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. What we talked about today, where it was like the stakes. What's really interesting is I can state the stake where it's like, I think this is like the thing that my character fears the most in this experience. And then I have no control over that because the person who is like GMing the whole experience, he goes, oh, that, but worse, is the experience. And so I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, how bad could you go? Is maybe like the thought to put in everybody's head where it's like, okay, like, yeah, you have your fears. Can you double down and like make it worse or like put two fears in there, something like that.
Great. Like it makes me think about what you're doing, Nicole. Like not only maybe is your character afraid of the chains and what it represents, but how would he feel if those chains were on him? And how many chains would it take to be like the worst of the worst experience?
What would break him?
Yeah, what would break your character or what the character thinks would break them? Because that's what it gets interesting is when you put your character in that situation at the crisis of the story and you make them face their worst fear. I mean, that's usually that's that's what many of us are doing in our fiction.
Right.
Except I was thinking today, and maybe some of you know, have an idea, what about cozy fiction? Because I don't actually read cozy fiction, but I have read I'm sorry, cozy fantasy. I was thinking. I haven't read cozy fantasy, but I've read cozy paranormal mysteries. And usually, I mean, there is sometimes the worst thing that happens to the protagonist is they get cornered by the the possible killer. And so there is, even though it's considered a cozy, they still have a high stakes moment. So I don't know if Katie, if you've read any cozy fantasy, if there's what is the high stakes considered in a cozy fantasy? I don't know.
I mean, I think so there can be high stakes in cozy fantasy. The like title, like or like the genre itself is like you know at the end everything's going to be better.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be better off. And so like you can think I read the coffee brewing one, like the orc who left her D&D party and like went to start a coffee house.
Mhm.
Um she she was like, "Oh, like I'm going to go start this. I'm going to do really well." And she is doing really well, but then her place burns down. But that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is like she rebuilds and like people come together and like she ends up better than she was before. And like so it's like you go into that and you can see like bad things happening, but you know like, oh, at the end of this, everybody gets their happy ending, kind of like a romance in a sense.
Yeah, I get it. And it's like we watch these detective shows and we know that at the end of every episode they're going to solve the mystery. Like there's this French detective show we've been watching, Cassandre, and not only do they catch the bad guy at the end of every episode, but there's always a familial reconciliation. And not just the family of the victims or something, but also the people, the cops, and their relationships get better. And every single one. It's really sweet. And they're 90,
Good point.
and so I know when I watch that, that's why one of the reasons I love the show so much is that it has such a good reconciliation and familial reconciliation and a lot of parental, parents and children, adult children with their parents or yeah, it's really wonderful. And also it's about growing up too. The, rites of passage and stuff. Anyway, great. Well, thank you for that. And thanks for everyone who came. And thanks for everyone who's here listening on the replay. Real quick before we wrap up, next time, what should be our focus next time? Anyone have a burning topic? Katie, do you have a burning topic?
Um, I mean, very deep and personal on my end, but like what do you do when something else beyond your like main project is calling to you? Like how do you handle that? Or like I don't know, like following your inspiration. I don't know if that's a full topic or if it's just a me thing, but I constantly feel the call from the void of all the projects that I could be doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to navigate that in the sense of like, oh, like it's really important to me that I get my like Lascar story out there, but also this is the only thing that I can write right now.
Yep.
It's like a writer burnout kind of thing. And
Hmm.
like, I don't know, talking about that.
Uh,
Find
Maybe you can write me up a little context, a little bit more,
Mhm.
and then because I don't have any clear ideas right this second, but I think this is what would be a great time to focus, do a little bit of like mini NLP uh, little exercises where we can have an exploration, less teaching and more exploration. That's what I'm thinking. How
Yeah.
does that sound?
That's
Because
fun.
yeah,
I'm feeling it too. Like I put
yeah,
a pause on my fiction writing to write nonfiction.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, and I was in a big slowdown for most of this year until just recently. So, yeah, cool. I think this is a great topic. And then Ezra, you're the writer for next
Yep,
time.
I'm the
Okay,
writer.
great. And for those listening on replay, please send in any questions you have and do your metaphor check-in. You can always email me your metaphor check-in. I love hearing that. And I think that's it. I think we're gonna have pizza. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready for pizza. Pizza.
Uh,
Anyone? Let's see. How do we do the icon? Where's the icon for the pizza? Somewhere. It's send with effect. Is it here?
reactions, I think.
Reactions?
And then
There
pizza,
it
try
is.
it.
Hey, I got the pizza to float on the screen. Thank you, Katie, for doing
Oh,
pizza
nice.
floating on the screen. Thank you. Continuing the tradition. Wonderful. Well, I hope this was useful for you all. We do have a call in 2 weeks, and that's going to be the 20th. Also, there's the Book Finisher Summit that starts tomorrow. I sent out an announcement about that today. It's a free event with lots of writing teachers, including myself. And then if anyone here wants to join the Romancing the Subplot weekend writing retreat that my teacher, Gala Russ, will be teaching, that is available. And there's an early bird discount if you register by Tuesday. You get a one-on-one session with Gala. So let me know if you're interested in that, anyone, and make sure you get the sign-up link. That is a paid workshop, and it's 8 hours, 4 on Saturday, 4 on Sunday. So it is an intensive. If you want that, it's great. She's really fabulous with plotting. And okay, I think that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
All right, everyone. Have a really wonderful night and take care and have dinner and all that good stuff. And drink lovely seasonal warm drinks. All right, take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.